Test. Yep, I'm recording audio. Hey. So, um, today is Transgender Day of Visibility, TDoV. Um, and I know that I have been making videos kind of on and off. Um, but I thought that I was going to make a video today, but as is usual, my day kind of gets away from me, and then I get to the end of the evening. This happens a lot of times when I go to make videos, and then quite frankly, I just am in no mood by the time it gets really late at night because I'm tired and I'm in pain, and tonight's no different, really. Like I have a major pain in my neck going on right now. Um, anyway, but I wanted to get on and do at least some kind of visibility video. So here I am. This is me, Sara Jade Woodhouse, about to do my version of my own Transgender Day of Visibility with 10 facts that I wrote down about me. So I've probably covered maybe even all of these in videos in the past, but I don't think I've ever covered them all at once in one place. So, and I want to make this video short and sweet, both for your viewing pleasure and for my physical and mental and emotional stability right now because I'm in pain and I just kind of want to go and lay down. So here we go. 10 facts about me. 1, I am a Mormon. Yeah, I am LDS, Latter-day Saint, Mormon, uh, adopted into the faith when I was a baby, grew up in the faith, um, still active in the faith. And the reason I do active is because, well, there's a lot of stuff that the church leadership is doing right now and other members of the church that are doing right now that, quite frankly, I think I don't believe, I don't agree, and will never agree because it's hateful and mean and misguided is the best word I can come up with. So, why am I still a Mormon? Because one of the most basic tenets of the faith, and granted, they have a lot of different beliefs. One of the most basic tenets of the faith is the um, the idea of God, and I don't find it anyplace else, to be honest. Um, the Mormon belief in God is that God was once as we are now, and that as God is, we may become. Simple, right? But in that little kernel there lies a lot. Like I cannot get behind an idea that God is some ever-flowing force somewhere out in the universe that um, either doesn't know we exist or that wants us to bow down before him, it, they, them, whatever, and worship. I can't get behind that. What I can get behind is that God or the God abilities, whatever, is an evolution of ourselves. That rings true to me. The idea that after this life, or in some instances, even in this life, scriptural precedents, we may attain that, right? That it's just the next step in our evolution. And whether that means that we die and shake off the mortal body and that frees us up to evolve to the celestial form, whatever, or the God-like form, which I believe still incorporates more perfected body. But uh, I believe in a being that is God, but not one being, that there's a billion of them. Because if we all have that capability, you got to count on at least throughout the course of humanity, even 1% of us making it. That's still, oh my laws, that's still a hell of a lot of people, right? So, Yeah, and I can't find that anywhere else. And that is truth in my body and in my soul and my spirit, and no one will ever take that away from me. So there's that. So that kind of keeps me Mormon. But like I said, there's a lot of other things that I think are complete bullshit. Sorry. Um, so that's that in a nutshell. All right, moving on. Keeping this short. What are we at? I don't even know what time we're at. But anyway, next fact. I am a transsexual. I used to lay claim to being underneath that transgender umbrella. I can't anymore, not with good conscience. I can't lay claim to um, an umbrella term that, quite frankly, doesn't seem to want to define me as me. And let me explain that. So, without going into too much history about the inception of the word, which I've done in a ton of videos in the past, go screen those videos. But here's the thing. I am 100% behind your identity, however you choose to identify. And if someone comes up to me and says, hey, I identify as gender queer or gender nonconforming or uh, gender fluid or whatever, I'm like, awesome, that's great. I'm a transsexual. Now, how often have I said that and had people say to me, well, that's not cool. That's not a good word. Why are you taking that word? Why don't you just take a transgender? I don't say the same thing to you, right? About your identity. Don't you say the same thing to me? The reason I choose transsexual is because for people like me, and me in particular, um, this body, not the one I have now because I got things fixed, but this body, when it was born with a birth defect. Yes, a birth defect. And if you don't believe that, go someplace else. Okay? You have every right to believe that about yourself. No right to believe that about me. Okay? I'm the only one who can make that determination. And yes, I have made that determination. And um, there are women out there who are like me, and to us it's very important. Gender is very important. Being the gender that we have always knew we were, but were never recognized as for the majority of our lives. And no, I do not believe that that is the fault of society at all. Okay? Because even in a society that didn't recognize gender, I would still define myself in a category of people that are decidedly feminine or female. And I want to be gendered, and that's okay. And the last thing I need somebody to do is come up to me and say, oh, I feel so sorry for you. Back off. I don't say the same thing to you. Oh, you're gender fluid? I feel so bad for you. Okay? I'm a transsexual, proudly. I would choose to define myself as simply a woman, but until society graduates to that sense where they see me as just a woman, period, I will carry the transsexual moniker with pride. Okay, what that means is that I deeply have a gender identity that is opposite to what the genitalia I was born with, and thank God through the advancements of science I was able to go and get that fixed, changed, and fixed, repaired, much like any other birth defect. Okay, moving on. I was adopted. True that. I was adopted when I was younger. I even said that earlier. And most recently, I found my birth family, my birth mother, my half-sister, my half-brother, which was an amazing event. Loved it. We're still communicating even now. I mean, I think my mom just called me earlier today, in fact. So and we had a conversation. Unfortunately, I was running out the door to my chiropractic appointment, and then I talked to my sister yesterday. We actually Skyped, not yesterday. We Skyped. Um, when did we Skype? Was it Saturday? Yeah, I think we Skyped on Saturday, which was also awesome. So yeah, and I was adopted into a loving parent group. Like I don't ever, like we all had our ups and downs, just like every family does as you're growing up. But I was never abused physically, um, and so I always felt like, um, well, I didn't always feel like I was free to make my own choices. No child ever does. Parents always want to kind of do whatever, but I always felt like my dad and my mom loved me, right? Just like I feel like my mom now loves me. Okay. And my half sister and my half brother, I love them. They love me. We're family. All right. So, yes, I was adopted. I am an actor, writer, director. Yes, I am an actor. I started acting um, in the mid 80s when I went down to Snow College. I got a role in a play there, a musical called Oliver, and I've been acting ever since. Yeah, I have done numerous, uh, too many to count, amateur productions, whether it be on a college level or a community level, um, but I've done a lot. I acted professionally on Pioneer Memorial Theater's stage in two main stage productions there. Um, Born Yesterday and View from a Bridge. And then I've also been in numerous TV shows and films. I do have an IMDb page. If you search Sara Jade Woodhouse just in a search engine, you'll probably, I think the IMDb page is the first thing that comes up. But so I've been on episodes of uh, Touched by an Angel, Promised Land, bunch of like CBS movies of the week, kind of, or made for TV movies. One called Night Sins, one called In My Sister's Shadow. I was in a couple of those weird kind of like ancient aliens documentaries. That was interesting. Um, I played romantic lead in a vampire film called She Lives by Night, which I think you can buy on Amazon. I was also in a film called The Jerk Theory, which I believe you can also stream somewhere. Somebody watched it. One of my students watched it. And I was in The Work and the Glory Part 1. So I've been in a lot of film and TV. I've directed tons of shows. I've written numerous plays and TV pilot scripts and movie scripts. And I'm currently working on an autobiography, which I really need to hammer out and finish so that the publishing company that's interested in publishing it doesn't lose faith in me and say bye-bye. So I need to work on that. All right. And writer and director. Yes. Okay. I am a teacher. I started teaching in 2003 at Salt Lake. Well, actually, I started teaching way before that, come to think of it. I started teaching as soon as I got back from my mission in 1987. Probably didn't start teaching until 1988. My first class that I taught was a Kalinetics class, so it kind of like Pilates, but earlier form of it. And then I've taught acting classes at University of Utah, both in their summer program for students from ages 8 all the way up to 18, and also in the classroom itself when I was studying to get my master's degree there. So, and then I've taught at Salt Lake Community College. I started teaching at Salt Lake Community College in 2003, taught there all the way up to 2015. I taught for 3 years at Highland Junior High in Ogden School District, and I was teaching at East Hollywood High, most recently taught there for a year and a half about. So I've been teaching uh, almost as long as I've been acting. So there. I am mostly straight. Yeah. Okay. So if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, maybe even as soon as like 5 years ago, I would have said, yes, I'm completely straight. I'm a straight woman, interested in men only. As I've gotten older and as I've come to grips more with my fluidity itself, I'm kind of like, yes, mostly I'm attracted to men, but there's been, if I'm being honest with myself, there's been women uh, throughout my life and even now that I'll walk down the street or something and I'll go, oh, she's pretty, and feel a little bit of a stirring, but um, I don't know. My daughter uh, said one day that I was pan, so maybe I'm pan. Pansexual means that you love the person and not the gender, I found out. So that makes sense. Like I think I no matter what the gender, there's some real assholes. Um, and there's some women who are awesome, better than men, and there's some men who are awesomely better than some women I've met. So I think I would definitely probably fall in love with the person. But my one of my massage therapists was massaging me just this last week, and she talked about her sexuality and she said something. I can't remember what term she used, but it basically amounted to you're attracted to the mind of the person. And I can see that in me too, for sure. Like if the person can carry on just a good conversation or even just kind of know how to, just someone who's comfortable in their, just has a beautiful mind, I guess. It doesn't have to be smart so much as it just has to, I don't know, be open to, I think, yeah, be open to everything. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. I have never intentionally, keyword, I have never intentionally had a drop of alcohol. Now, let me explain why I say intentionally. Um, all through my life, I've never had touched alcohol at all. I've never understood it. It's not for me. I get it. If you like to drink, I hold no judgment on that whatsoever. Um, I have lots of friends who drink, and I'm fine with that. I don't like it when they get super drunk because then it becomes annoying and boring and I just want to leave. So, I mean, I'm not going to hold it against them. If they want to get super drunk, that's great. As soon as they get to that point, I'll probably excuse myself and head home just because I'm not having fun anymore. But the reason I say intentionally is because I was down at an Equality Utah dinner down in St. George, and we were taking tickets at the desk, and they had brought us some water to drink, and I had taken a couple of sips of my water. It was really good, and then I grabbed the glass that I thought was mine and took a sip, and I was like, ooh. And I walked over to my coworker who was working there, and I go, this water tastes bad. And he's like, wait, did you drink out of that? Is that your cup or my cup? And I go, I don't know. But he tasted it and he goes, that's not water, that's mine. And it was some kind of alcoholic beverage. And I was like, oh, no wonder I didn't like it. So that's the only time I've ever had any alcohol. And trust me, I would not do it again anytime soon. All right. Getting close, getting close. I am mostly not a smoker. There's a reason I put mostly in there too. I don't like smoking. Again, I don't care if I have friends who smoke. I have lots of friends who smoke. Sometimes they smoke nicer smelling tobacco, and I kind of like the smell of that as it permeates. But I myself am not a smoker because for a couple of reasons. The first reason is because I'm a singer too, and I love to sing, and I don't want to ruin my vocal cords, and especially now that I'm starting to work on my voice and moving it into a feminine um, quality, which is going to take time. So heads up, you might hear me start to sound a little different moving forward. I'm working on it. Um, so I value my voice, so I don't really like to smoke, period. The reason I say mostly is because I was shooting a film for some friends of mine. This was the vampire film in which I played the romantic lead, and they wanted me to smoke a cigar out by the Great Salt Lake, and I was like, why not? But I had to learn how to smoke a cigar, which cigars you don't actually take into your lungs because that would burn the crap out of them. So you just take it into your mouth and you swirl it around and let it out. And I was like, I can get behind that because you're not actually taking the smoke into your lungs, and I'm a singer and it won't affect my lungs. But so they had brought a Cuban cigar and I tried it, and my God, that was tasty. Sorry, but I was like, oh, and it made me a little lightheaded, and I was like, I could see doing this. And so in my lifetime, since that day, in my lifetime, I can probably count on the fingers of one hand. No, not probably, most definitely. I can count on the fingers of one hand the times that I have had a cigar. So less than five, maybe tops five in the last, yeah, since then. And in my whole life in general. So mostly, yeah, not a smoker. I waited until I was in my 50s to try marijuana. Yep, I did. I had a lot of friends who did it when I was in high school. A lot of friends that did it when I was at college and at work, and I just never really, I never tried it. I don't know why. Maybe because it just wasn't readily available in Utah or whatever, but I just had never tried it. And lately in my life, um, I've been experiencing a lot of pain surrounding my spinal problems and my neck and my head problems and stuff. And the one thing that I've had to kind of come to grips with is the amount of pills I have to take to stave off the pain, which I hate. And I don't really like having to take the pills for one. And I don't like that if I don't take them, boom, the pain comes immediately back. So I remember I was in Colorado at my friend Brandy's house. Hopefully she doesn't mind me bringing her up. But and I just said, I think it might have been the year of my 50th birthday, in fact. Anyway, I was in my 50s and we were just sitting in her house one night and I said, I've heard so much about how marijuana helps with pain and I have all this pain and I don't know, I kind of want to try it. And I'm in Colorado where it's legal. So I'm like, and she had a brownie, little itty bitty thing. And she said, don't take the whole thing. You're going to take a quarter of it. And I was like, really? So she cut it into quarters and I took one quarter and I put it in my mouth. And my God, my whole body just, the pain was gone and it just relaxed. And the first thing I did was fall asleep. And I remember being on the couch and with my eyes closed, I couldn't open them. And Brandy saying, Sarah, you should go up and go to bed. And I'm like, I will. I'm okay. And I'd continue to sit on the couch. And then a few moments later, she'd say, Sarah, you should really go up to bed. I think, yeah, it's probably pretty loopy. And it was probably kind of fun to watch me do that. But I think eventually I did go up and fall into bed. But it was the best night's sleep I've ever had. And so ever since then, I have become a 100% advocate behind the legalization of marijuana. And I mean, not just medically, but recreationally also. I mean, come on. The types of drugs that you guys have already legalized, give me a break. Like alcohol, cigarettes, marijuana is better than all of them. And I don't smoke it, and you don't have to smoke it. I eat it. Okay. All right. Last one. This is funny. Last one. I'm single. Just saying. Just putting it out there. I'm single. Mostly. Anyway, so there you have it. My version of being visible on today. I'll try to put it up ASAP so that it goes out on today, March 31st, 2020. Uh, if you have any questions that you want to ask that I didn't ask, this is the first time I've ever said this. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. Put it in the comments. This video in particular, stick to this video. If you have a question that I did not answer in this video, put it in the comments. If I get enough of them, I'll do another facts about me video or whatever. So go ahead and ask whatever you want to ask. I'm an open book. If it's rude or not, if it's too invasive or rude or whatever, then I won't answer it. But chances are I'll pretty much answer anything. So hopefully y'all had a great TDoV, and other trans people were, hopefully you were embraced and you felt free to be visible today. We have to be visible. Otherwise, we will be eliminated. So let's be visible out there. And by eliminate, I mean, both. I mean, like, forgotten. People will just forget we're there. And there are people out there who still think it's okay to kill us. Just saying. Anyway, all right, I gotta let my cats in. And I wanted to keep this short, so hopefully it's not too long. So I'm just gonna say bye.